This is something very fucking interesting. Regarding Party Finder Toxicity, normalize kicking people. The title already is something that I kind of agree with, but let's hear what they say, because we've seen these posts like these that have like they're expecting like a fairly like reasonable thing, but they explain it in the most obnoxious way and just like throw shade and like hit so many people with strays. I guess we all saw the post of the guy parsing 0 on top in PF and not wanting them in any party. Wait, hold on. I guess we all saw the post of the guy parsing 0 on top and Party Finder not wanting them in any party. I have not seen that, but it doesn't matter. I just keep thinking about the amount of parties that get disbanded after needing 2-3 hours or more to fill just because one person keeps failing mechanics, doing miserable DPS. Like, sometimes... No, I do agree with this. Sometimes you will just get the one fucking idiot in your group that just doesn't fucking get it. But they will just keep repeating the same mistakes instead of improving. Like, the whole point of a good group, and I will always like say this, like, prog happens when the last idiot in the group figures out the mechanic. Is it you? Yeah, it's probably me. Yeah, to be fair, I'm usually the dumbest in my groups. It is how it is, and I get the frustration that if you already figure it out, you have to wait on someone else to figure out the mechanics for you to go forward. But, like, not letting other people learn is also... Like, there's, like, a lot of back and forth about this whole conversation. Even I don't know what would be the correct way of doing this. And mind you, like, I'm thinking about the solution on the player side. This solution should come from Square Enix's side. There should be a difficulty between Ultimates and Savage. Sorry, between Savage and Ultimates. I brain farted there for 2 seconds. But there should be a difficulty between Savage and Ultimates. Or at least, like, increased Savage difficulty. Something. To get... Like, they could have actually added the extra Savage difficulty from Criterion. Just, like, do the Savage without taking damage downs or taking, you know, or dying. That would be the extra difficulty. Something like with like increased damage intake, decreased damage, something. There needs to be like a difficulty level between Ultimates and Savage, because you cannot tell me that, like, however you want to think about it, like the last Savage fight of every turn should be the hardest, and this is what I'm bringing into comparison: the hardest fight. Not just the entire tier, right? Because, like, the difficulty also fucking spikes from like, P9S to fucking P12S. The difficulty is, like, very different. So... But there's, like, no middle step between Savage and Ultimates. That's why it's so hard to specifically get a grasp on a skill level between those two. People will come in, and it's a lot more difficult to specifically optimize, not to understand the mechanics in Ultimates, but specifically optimize your own performance around it. Cooldowns, healing, just movement alone needs to be a lot cleaner, because a lot of more people rely on it, but it's like, it's still, the last idiot needs to figure out what the fuck the mechanic is, otherwise no prog. But I get the frustration that some groups do disband after 2-3 hours. That's what I mean. It's like people cannot grasp if this player is good enough to be ultimate, to like do ultimate difficulty, or are they just like they cleared some Savage and they're just not familiar with the fight. It's like it's a whole debate. It's hard to say what's happening here. I don't know about other regions, but in Europe, people will leave rather than kick in the problem. That is true. Actually, no. It depends who you're raiding with. If you're raiding with me, or for example, our friend Pato, you will get kicked, especially like in prog. If we're progging and if there's like a damage problem and you're not potting, you're getting kicked. If you can't figure out a mechanic in like several pulls and you just keep wiping the group, you're getting kicked. I feel like you're just in very polite groups. A lot of like groups are still very polite and they want to, you know, just spend as much time in the instance as possible. So they will, but sometimes people will actually just think that it's probably better to leave than kick in the problem. But it also stems from the fact that if you want to kick someone, you're gonna be an asshole. However you want to phrase this, specifically because how the 14 community is moderated by Square Enix, you know, be polite, you know, no cursing, don't use add-ons, you know, don't post spoilers in Party Finder. Like, Square Enix is like very like tedious when it comes to making players behave in the game, right? So it's like, that's why we're constantly disencouraged from specifically calling out someone. Like, some people will still call out, they're like some volatile fucking players, but some people will just not call out and are not like, they're not conditioned to just call out the problem. They would rather just step away from the problem than approach the problem in any way that would make them seem toxic, because that is the community we have. In World of Warcraft, they will throw slurs at you and you're gonna get kicked. That's it. In Final Fantasy, like, very few players, some people who are determined will kick out the problems. I have done that when I was progging UCOP, for example. Some players were just, you know, we said prog is P3 or P4, right? Or Heaven's Fall prog. But we're stuck on nail, or sometimes twisters because of one asshole. No, they get kicked. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you need to kick out a problem to make the train go faster. Sometimes you don't need the extra weight, right? But the community is still kind of moderated in such a way that everyone would rather just avoid dealing with the problem because it might make you seem toxic. Unless it's a person known for grief and like a Dark Knight parser who walls if their DPS is not good enough before even clearing one. I want to know the context for this. People will stay polite and say nothing, just leave and go back to wait another 2 hours. Yeah, this is what essentially I mean. Because like Final Fantasy, the 14 community is currently. Thank you for the charge. Let me just. The Final Fantasy 14 community, especially specifically the raiding community. I'm not even talking about the modding community. Actually, no, the modding as well. I'm calling you guys out too. There is so much fucking drama. Someone called someone out, someone posted someone's chat, they said something and they're like, even I got called out. Frosty came into my fucking Party Finder, caused fucking problems, and then he called me out on Twitter, and then Frosty kept calling me a fucking idiot on his stream for 2 weeks. I came to his stream, we kinda like made up, and then I found out he was actually even more fucking volatile before I came to his stream. I was being called a fucking idiot and a black mage hater for 2 weeks. This is the community we have. People would rather just not deal with problems, or you're gonna be in fucking drama again. You sure you want to leave out the mod? Yeah, I already said that I'm including the modding community. Modding community has its own fucking share of drama. I'm not part of the modding community, so I wouldn't know. But there's enough drama in the modding community that I hear about it. Someone somewhere within my like mutuals will do modding, and they or their like distant echoes are still reaching me of the drama in the modding community. So it's like. There's so much drama, nobody wants to deal with fucking drama. No one's gonna call out people for leaving the party. Maybe they will. Some psychos will do that. But most of the time, you're gonna address someone's skill level, you're gonna get called out. If you want to tell someone to kick a problem, they're gonna also say, but you're also underperforming, and it's a whole fucking thing. Because we're moderated by Square Enix to be behaving little children, we behave like fucking children when problems occur. Meanwhile, all these problems are literally just like, they're so fucking childish. They're so silly, they're so childish, and they're also so fucking corrosive. And that's corrosiveness specifically results in this kind of situation. Sorry, I keep stopping while reading. Wouldn't it be easier to normalize kicking people in a respectful way? Like, hey, at least in this moment you're underperforming, so we'll have to keep going without you. As simple as that. Okay, let me finish reading this segment. Given how people seem unable to leave by themselves when they keep messing up and wasting other people's time, I think we should view kicking as normal and non-toxic measure to keep progging. Okay, no. I've talked about this before as well. the players in the 14 community are also, especially in the raiding community, are giga proud. Giga proud. Like, for example, a good example is just not even like in the raids. A good example is like in recruitment, for example. Someone applies, hey, I would like to join your static. Here are my logs. Okay, we talked, okay. I talked to the team, okay. Okay, me and the team have talked, and we decided you're probably not gonna be a good fit. I'm gonna have to decline around this time, sorry. And this is a tip for anyone who's recruiting for your static. If they ever say, may I ask why? Can I know why? Say no. Say fucking no. Decline. Even if they just, if instead of like, hey, no worries, good luck in your prog, if instead of that line, they're gonna say, may I ask why you like, say no and block that person. They're clearly about to waste like 20 minutes of your time arguing with you that, you know, they're good enough and you're a fucking idiot for not picking them. And I deal with this on almost a daily basis now, because I'm recruiting people for my static. Almost a daily basis. I had a person, 600 item level, hasn't raided for 2 fucking tiers, come in and tell me, try to convince me that they're good enough to trial and raid with us. They barely clear like the first tier, but they're like I'm telling them, hey, like unless you can get some gear, it's like it's not gonna be fair comparing your logs to other people. It's like I would like more recent and more active players who are a bit more prepared. No, Crafted is pretty much this as good as Biss. To be fair, my mistake. That was my mistake for even humoring and answering them. But the moment anyone in recruitment says, may I ask why? Block, don't answer, or just say no. Go away. No, leave them. I cleared 220 first big back in the day. Why would you want any? Oh yeah, I think I told the story about the weird fucking white mage, who kept bragging about how he cleared fucking Twintania first week back in fucking ARR or some shit. Like, nothing, like, his logs will tell me that he only started raiding in late Shadowbringers, but he kept talking about how he is such an active and cool raider, right? The reason I declined him is because he's talking to me like an asshole. That's it. That's the only reason. He's acting like an asshole, and he's gonna be like declined and treated like an asshole. And this person, he copy pasted the message that he cleared Twintania week 1 in ARR, and he asked me, "Don't you understand what this fucking means?" Well, he didn't say fucking. I'm saying fucking, but he specifically said, "Don't you understand what this means?" Like, no, dude. I don't fucking know what this means. You got no logs to prove rating history, any recent one that I can trust you with. And, like, and your story don't match up and you're acting like an asshole. You're getting declined. He kept pushing the story like, why do you not want to raid with me? I'm like, because we don't like you. His response to that was, why do you not like me? You don't even know me. See, again, good example. If they ever just start arguing with you, go, step away. No. If you're the one dealing with the party, just go. And also... Okay, I got my first top kill 2 weeks ago, and it's been a pain in the ass for clearing it for the same reason. Why? I wish I could actually tell people to realize if they are messing up a ton and leave. But I know that it's simply impossible. Look... There's a reason people will not leave on their own accord. Because just like you, they waited 4 hours in Party Finder. I know this because I waited for like up to 6 and 7 hours just to fill up one party. Just to disband half an hour later because of one fuck ass. Right? I know this pain and I understand, but this is not for players to resolve. It's for Square Enix. It's for Square Enix to resolve how to deal with this, or they need to loosen up their fucking moderation so people don't feel like they're gonna end up in drama, or that they are allowed to call someone out. Like, this is for Square Enix to fix. But like, no player ever is gonna be like, join a party and say, well, sorry guys, I feel like I'm underperforming. I'm gonna go not get any practice somewhere else. No one's gonna do that. I had parties like this where people have left, like half the party have left, but only A few people have left, including the fuck ass that was doing a lot of mistakes. They will remain there. They need, in their head, they need the practice the most, man. They're not gonna leave. But just in case, there is nothing wrong with leaving. Again, nobody feels bad about leaving. They don't want to, that's the thing. Feels good for you knowing you aren't pushing back other 7 people. One day before clearing, I wiped the party 3 times in a row in Sigma, said sorry and that I wasn't having a good day apparently, left and they kept playing, only having to replace 1 person. There's nothing wrong. Look, this is the utopia. This is you leaving and not think... Look, everyone rates for themselves. I want, like, it's a team game, right? You build a static, you gotta work with 8 people, but at the end of the day, people in there want a totem for themselves. You want a totem for themselves, and you want to clear the fight for yourself. No one is going to be that polite that they're going to specifically say, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger man. I want these people to clear, and not me. No, that doesn't fucking happen. There are nice people like that. There are. But they usually already get, like, a very bad experience in Party Finder. They usually avoid it and just look for statics instead. I felt less anxious and people could keep the... No. And that's all. Normalize kicking people and not disbanding. It's already painful enough having to wait so much time for... Okay, see, remember what I said at the very beginning, right? Sometimes they have a very good point, but they go about very weird ways. You should normalize kicking people so that they don't feel any social awkwardness or embarrassment, you know, pushing people back from prog. It's a very weird thing to talk about. That's all. Normalize kicking people. Edit to clarify. I'm not talking about kicking someone because they failed a couple of times in random X. I'm talking about a scenario where clearly the same person is messing every pull. Let's say, like, wipe several times on same mechanics far from the prog point. No. See, again, I don't believe this is for the players to resolve. This is not something that we should be resolving. This whole situation is stemming specifically from Square Enix moderating the game in such a way. You need to be polite. We are the community of the year, you know? Don't spam holy in limbs, otherwise you're gonna get suspended, you know? Don't, you know... Like, there was like so many cases at this point, it's just funny at this point, where people were just like misbehaving for the smallest things and Square Enix fucking went down on them. In a bad way, I mean, not went down in a good way. So it's like, this is for Square Enix to fix. My solution, my personal solution is specifically preparation for Ultimates. They know what Ultimates are gonna come out. For example, Eden's about to come out, right? And they have this content in the game already. Eden is about to come out, right? The new Ultimate. Instead of having fucking weird extreme trial unreals, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Nidhogg or some shit again. Give us those raids. Give that as an Unreal content. Give us Unreal raid tiers. Just that entire, those 9 tiers, those, like, not 9 tiers, like those 9 fights, give those in Unreal difficulty. Give us that. So people do that for some rewards, cosmetics, mount, that's cool. They get some practice, they learn mechanics, and then they can go into Ultimates. Because again, Ultimates and Savage need a step in between. It's either need to be a higher difficulty or something that prepares them for Ultimates better. Give us Unreal Savage tiers. You're gonna bring us through, give us those fights in Unreal. Bring us more than one fight and not just like Leviathan or fucking, you know, some other thing that just got scaled up. That would be my solution for shit like this. That way people get practice, they have another progression step to do before getting into Ultimates. They can, like, maybe you can even, no, you don't get gear from Unreals, that's actually cringe. The moment I thought about it, the math clicked in my head, I just said no. So that would be my solution, but like, just normalizing and kicking people or just being polite and leaving the party, it's... There's a reason this shit is not being done more actively. It's because people are just like managed and moderated in such a way by Square Enix, so this is my solution to this. But this is like, this is like... I get where this is coming from, but on the other hand, I kind of disagree with this text, but I agree with this text up here. Anyways.